I said a couple weeks ago that it's always true that we have sinned against God more than anyone has sinned against us. That's true. In other words, our suffering does not excuse our sinning. But it is also true that every sinner is, in some way, at some level, a great sufferer. Every great sinner is also a great sufferer. It does not excuse what they have done, but ought to put in perspective for us. Haven't you ever had that where you thought, oh, you cut somebody off on the road, you were short with your friend on the phone, you sent an email that you should have sat on for a day, and you think to yourself, oh, I hope they'll realize that I had one of those days. Do you allow other people in your life to have one of those days? One of those mornings? You may not know everything that's going on. When my dad was very sick a couple years ago, some of you remember this, he came back from one of his trips to Africa, had this very mysterious illness, turned out to be cerebral malaria, very, very rare, almost died, and then had brain surgery, and it looked very grim, and by the Lord's grace, he's made a full recovery. I remember those weeks or months when things were very hard, and it wasn't, all of you were really wonderful, but people leaving a comment on a blog or people elsewhere saying this or that, and going through a period of great stress and difficulty and kind of suffering that puts into perspective the rest of your life. I would sometimes think to myself about these other people who had their criticisms, their things they wanted to pile on. I think, you have no idea what I'm going through right now. You have no idea what the rest of my life is like. And that was helpful, not so much so I could feel really, feel sorry for myself or something, because it helped me, and you have a similar experience. It should help you to think and to remember, who knows what someone else is going through? Who knows what sort of suffering they have? Who knows what sort of disappointment or trial is present in their life? Doesn't mean you can't confront, doesn't mean you can't correct or you can't ever be upset, but it puts at least some brakes. Isn't one of the great things about our God over and over again that He is slow to anger? Some of us are so quick, fast. If we're slow, it's like we must not care, must not be serious. But that's not God.